take the civil services as my career path, appeared UPSC examination, and I cleared the examination in the year 1993. So before that, twice I went to the interview of the UPSC, 89. After that, Group 1, I got into the state civil services. Then immediately I got into this through UPSC. The UPSC, the board members, they are very seasoned bureaucrats with a rich social background, academic background. They look from the candidate from the very first your appearance before the board. We can read our personality like a small open book. There is nothing we can hide from the board. Please remember not to hide any of our weaknesses. Having weakness is human. It's not an error. It's a personality test. The seasoned board members, they know how to read us only by our body language. How you are sitting in front of the board, how you are greeting them, how you are understanding the question, how you are marshalling your thoughts before actually answering. I'm very sure UPSC encourages one more thing. In the board, you are permitted to make a notes, like I'm making a notes of what Mr. Venkat is suggesting. Now I make my own notes. Suppose you are the board, I'm in front of you. I'm ready with my pen and pencil. They keep a notepad. Or you are carrying your own original certificates. Carry a small notepad with a pencil or a pen. If the member is asking a technical question, make a note of it. Absolutely, no problem in that. It will be appreciated by the board members. Instead, before the member completes his question, we start answering. That speaks about our personality. Remember that you can't hide anything from the board members, full stop. They are very clever. I take the 3 examples of the candidates who got into the civil services by sheer their what called the presence of mind and the dead honesty. In one case, she is serving in Karnataka cadre. The members put a very tricky question. Your brother is into some scandal in the district where you are the collector. Give me what comes to your mind instantaneously, how you are going to deal with your brother. Sir, I bank on my moral fiber. That is not an orchestrated, prepared answer. It has to come genuinely from within. So the members gave her the highest marks in the interview just because of her prompt, unorchestrated, unedited answer. Sir, I bank on my moral fiber. I asked this lady, how you got that answer? I don't know, sir. But it just popped out like my mouth. When my brother is involved in a scandal in a scam where I am the district collector, I said that, how are you going to deal with this? Means, sir, I leave it to my moral fiber. The moral fiber, we never prepared these answers. So those scientific questions, subject-wise questions is one thing. Whereas your personality-related questions, the second. If you are into a hobby, be sincere to that hobby. Just for the sake of interview, don't write extracurricular activities or hobby. Don't mention it. If you don't have a hobby, don't have a hobby. We are in the habit of writing to impress the board. I'm into yoga and meditation. I'm into singing. I'm into cooking. I'm into gardening. They're hobbies. The board members, they will corner a candidate whether this candidate is genuine into his or her hobby or not. Not having a hobby is not negative, but falsifying a hobby is seriously taken seriously. That is a personality. Oh, this candidate has a tendency to mislead. It's a negative mark. So before actually any extracurricular other than textual knowledge, other than the scientific knowledge, if you have any hobby, genuinely, whatever it may be sincere to that hobby. I'll give you an example. You want to take up gardening as a hobby. They will ask, what is the purpose of hobby? Why one has to have a hobby? There is no need to have a hobby. Government will not pay you any money for having a hobby. Right? So, sir, Hobby has nothing to do with my profession. For example, you may writing the publishing in the scientific magazines about the geology subject is my hobby. It's not a hobby because it's your core subject. Hobby means which has nothing to do with your core subject. You are getting my point. If anyone has this hobby which has nothing to do with the geology, please honest with that hobby. Take the example of cooking. They'll ask what type of cooking, continental. What is the difference between continental and the Indian cooking? What is the difference between the Punjabi dishes as well as the South Indian dishes? Why idli and dosa sambar is very, very popular in South India? Why not in North India? We don't know. But if you are curious about the cooking as a hobby, and if you are paying attention to this type of the divergence in the country, then that clinches the interview in your favor. One question, like that lady who said, sir, I leave it to my moral fiber. That one question clinched the entire board and clinched her the interview. Hobby, I'll take one example. This girl, she got into IPS first and she wanted to appear again. In her interview, she mentioned one particular hobby, spending time with children. She mentioned that as a hobby. One board member became curious. How do you spend time with children and what do you learn from the children? It was initial 2 to 3 minutes of the interview beginning for UPSC. She said that, sir, I learned a lot of things by spending time with the children. Oh, come on. What are the things? Sir, they're working in Delhi. This girl stays with her parents in the complex. There are many maid servants staying and helping the seniors' houses. Their children, the maid servants' children, they go to the government school. Father is not there. Father is a taxi driver. Mother comes to my house to attend to the works. So who takes care of the children? There is nobody. The school teachers, the quality of education is so poor. Their health problems. There is a tacit, they don't know if a girl child is molested and she doesn't know that she is being molested by the teacher. Then how did you spend time, sir? Every day when I come back from my college, between 6 and 7 in the evening, I pulled the laborers' children, started teaching the maths and English. It's a 1 hour, free of cost, there is no charges. So sensing her sincerity towards this simple hobby, which has nothing to do with her subject, that clinched her excellent marks. Third, how the board corners you. One student who facing the interview, he got the distinction in class 10th. He got second class in intermediate. He got distinction in degree and he got a distinction and gold medal in the post graduation. So the board chairman, surfing his biodata. Oh, you are a distinct student. You are you remained distinction throughout your academic career. The candidate remained silent. He did not say anything. There was a few seconds of silence. The candidate it's not a question to the candidate. Please note, it's not a question to the candidate. It was the chairman was reading from the biodata of the candidate. Oh, you remain distinction. You got distinction throughout your education career. Very good. This candidate got just 250 marks interview. He got 125. You know what the flaw? Sheepishly, the candidate should have said, no, sir, I'm not. I got the second class in the intermediate. Had this candidate, just sheepishly, it's not the fault. They might have asked why suddenly 10th class you got distinction, then degree distinction, post-graduation distinction, gold medal. Why intermediate second? There must be some reason. So that reason he perhaps might have expected. You know, the third candidate who attended the interview in the year 89, he missed the service by 1 mark. Can you believe it? Had he scored 126, he would have been the All India service. That candidate is me. The third example is my example. The candidate who remains silent is me. Because I don't know, maybe I went blank. I didn't know how to respond. I thought he's casually mentioning, but actually he's reading my personality. My silence, had I told sir, no sir, my intermediate is the second class. I'm not distinction. I did not get distinction in intermediate, which is factually correct, which is in front of. How I missed it, still it happened in there. Can you imagine 89 interview? I missed. That was my first interview for the IAS exam in the UPSC. This is the second attempt I got into the service. How the presence of mind is not there. Like this, that's why I just want to share these 2-3 examples. See, you have to prepare. There is no coaching available for your personality. Your personality already is there. 25 years of you were brought up, your family brought up. It's a part of, it's ingrained in your personality. You have to stand in front of the mirror and say that, am I honest with my answer? It's basically general questions. It's not the technical subject. Geology subject, no, I'm not interested in that because you already mastered the subject. You already have a command over the subject. We go into deeply into your personality. You have to be very, very aware of the weaknesses. Your personality weakness means there are some cases where they have the habit of stammering. Stammering is not negative. It's not negative. There are some more candidates who remain stiff. They remain so stiff like a statue. Only his lips are like our former Pradhan Mantri ji. Only lips move. Feel normal while we are interacting, but I should not do dramatics. The body language means I should not do dramatics. My body language is basically the gestures, the hand movements, the head movements should not be out of sync with what you say. So that is your personality. It has to be trained. Not this is only we give you tips through this type of interactive sessions. Remember, it's a skill. What is a skill? The skill is not we are born with. It is cultivated. Always remember that. Innate talent, that's what we born with. Whereas the skill is we learn. The honeybee, the dances. Did it learn the dancing from the dancing school? No. It has carried the language of communicating with its counterpart through dance. It's innate, it's a DNA. Whereas in us, language is a skill. Presentation is a skill. The dressing is a skill. The way you put your tie is a skill. The way you do the makeup is a skill. It's all learned. So in the personality, you have to identify, that's why standing in front of the full length mirror, how you are walking, how you are taking the seats, how is your body language, you have to watch yourself. That will help you a lot. And any specific question, Mr. Venkat, if it is there, I'll address.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Pavni. I have a question. So, whenever we are there in an interview, and suppose there is a panel of 3 to 4 interviews, and one of them is asking the question. So, usually I think being a candidate who is getting interviewed, we get confused that with whom we shall actually maintain the eye contact while we are answering. So, shall it be with the single person who is asking or with the complete panel?
Majority of us face these situations. Out of the 3-4 panelists, one member is asking you question, putting the question before you. So whoever puts the question, your entire attention has to go to the gentleman or lady. And you need not pay attention to other members' presence. No, not required. If A is putting a question to you, your entire attention, including making a note of the question, is focused. Attention is only on that person. Once the question is clear to you and you're ready to answer, you answer to the board, not to the individual. A put the question to you, and you noted and you came up with the answer, that answer for the entire board, not to the member. I hope that I made it clear.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Rituparna from Kolkata. Sir, I had one question, that sometimes we are at the end of the interview, we are sometimes asked that, do you have any questions for us? Or would you like to share something? Sir, these questions, how can they be dealt tactfully at the present situation? I mean, these things have to be very prompt.
You see, one member always, especially the chairman, if he is impressed with your, if the board is impressed by your performance, they, just before your departure, they put that last question like this. You simply smile, thank you, sir. Because that is the trap. Are you having self-confidence or not? In the board's mind, you are selected, you are the material for the job. But just to unnerve you before you, even just before opening the door to go out of the room, miss, just come back. So just to make you, just to test your self-confidence. Any candidate gets the question just before the departure is surely selected. Surely selected. That is the sign, because the board is so impressed with your performance. The chairman, out of his satisfaction, he wants to just anything you want to ask. That means you are selected.
Ma'am, since UPSC is a 1-year process, how to deal with the exam pressure, ma'am?
You are asking about the exam pressure. Let me take my example. Okay, up to 12th standard, I studied with the biology, maths, and physics. It's a combination in Andhra Pradesh. I joined Hindu College Guntur for my graduation in the BSc Geology, Chemistry, and Physics. I'm not that good at English. The first year, I by-hearted the entire subject so much. I by-hearted in the examination. I fainted in the sense that I did not write my first year exams in the first. If you look at my mark sheet, the first year is absent, all 5 papers. Because language problem. Because I mugged the subject so much, I couldn't reproduce in the exam. I tensed up. From next year onward, there is no question of memorizing. I learned the art of writing the answers while preparing for the exam. See, the more I write, the art of writing helped me in any of the examinations, including the civil service. The art writing and reading. I kept almost 1,000 white papers. If I read something, I write it immediately. I write it 2 to 3 times. So writing helped me in overcoming the stress, number one. The more I spent time in writing, even copying, writing is copying. I'm copying 2-3 times. That increased my presentation. That has removed the stress, and my presentation in the examination writing becomes so natural because I'm writing. There is a fundamental difference between reading and preparation, writing and preparation. If you inculcate the habit of writing from the first day, then the stress is taken care. You will never feel stress even for the IAS examination. Mark my word, and start practicing writing. I'm a classic example where up to 12th standard, Telugu medium English has absolutely no command. Graduation, I scored 80% plus thanks to my writing habits. First year, I dropped all the exams, absent because of the stress, like you experienced. Second year onwards, it's not reading, it's writing. So writing helped me. I'm very sure it helps you also. I can assure you one thing. Since 1948, the first batch of the recruitment through the Union Public Service Commission, till date, the only organization which has maintained impeccable integrity last 75 years is UPSC. There may be scandals, there may be complaints against the state public service commissions. Once the integrity of the UPSC selection process came under question. That is the greatest strength of the UPSC. That's why are you worried? What are you worried about? What is that which is so fearful about the UPSC? I'm from rural background. I'm not from the English or the urban centric education. No, I'm from municipality school. That is JPH school I studied. After that, government college in Vijayawada, 11th and 12th. After that, the private Hindu college. Nowhere, if you look at my career, but the UPSC is for me, it's a hope because it is the most transparent and the integrity is impeccable organization. That has to make you very confident about yourself, about the selection process. Suppose if you go into the State Public Service Commission, money, politics, contacts, you forget about your preparation. You are worried about whom should I contact, which politician will help me, how much money they are taking. UPSC, unlike all the public service commissions, UPSC integrity is impeccable. If you are hardworking, remember that. If you are hardworking, if you are genuine about what you know, what you don't know. If I don't know, don't know. See, remember one thing. Board doesn't expect you to know everything. You remove that from your mindset. Oh, board may come up with some unexpected question. It will come up with unexpected question. With an honest answer from you, sir, I don't know the answer. Instead, you try to answer it, though you are not prepared. You are half knowledgeable about that question, or don't know anything about the question. You tried to. I take the one example. They suddenly asked me in my interview, UPSC, what is the one significant difference between Hyderabad and Vijayawada? Because I studied from Vijayawada. Hyderabad, I told them suddenly, the board, it's a tank bund, a huge water, but they laughed. It's a lake. It's a natural lake in Hyderabad. In Vijayawada, there is no natural lake. No, we are not mentioning about that. There is some other establishment which is not there in Hyderabad. I was scrapping. Sir, no, I'm unable to recollect. And they said that, have you heard of NTPC? Oh, sir, yes, sir, we have the thermal power plant. How the board member helped me to connect to the Ibrahimpatnam thermal power plant in Vijayawada. See, he wanted me to tell that Vijayawada has the thermal plant, whereas Hyderabad doesn't have the thermal plant. He helped me indirectly by asking, have you heard of NTPC? Yes, sir, NTPC is National Thermal Power Corporation. Oh, yes, sir, Vijayawada has the Thermal Power Corporation. He helped me indirectly. Why should I fearful about the board and UPSC when they are there to help us, provided you are honest? I should be honest with myself because it's a personality which we are opening up before the board. It's a very good question. Never fearful about the board because UPSC is the most transparent and integrity-wise impeccable organization. Feel confident about yourself because you are facing an objective, independent, transparent body. You must feel proud that you are facing the board. Why fear? Thank you. If I'm a member, I ask some lengthy question which has no meaning. You are not clear. Don't jump to answer when the question is not clear to you. You have a right to request the member to repeat the question. Sir, forgive me. Can you repeat, sir, please? Kindly repeat the question, sir. The member is duty bound to repeat the question. It's up to him to repeat, or he doesn't want to repeat it. Okay, next member. You are not given negative mark for that. But without actually understanding the question, you are guessing and trying to answer that question, which is definitely wrong. If the question is not clear, that is the member's problem, not yours. Please keep it in mind. If my question is not clear to the interviewer, whose problem is that? It's not the interviewer's problem. It is the board member problem. The chairman, he knows about that member. Next question. Next member. So if the question is too lengthy, you wait. That's why carry this notebook. Whatever the member is telling, write down. You have a right to. You can take your own time. You become clear about the question. You may ask again, sir, what is that question you are asking? You have a right to that speaks about your confidence. That's called the self-confidence. You are very self-confident about yourself. Then only with politeness, you will ask, sir, can you repeat it?
That was about the language of interview, because
Language, exactly. See, I'll take my example. Though I studied, I'm not that confident with the English. In UPSC application form, they clearly mention which language you prefer while they in the interview. Suppose Telugu is my mother tongue. Had I opted for Telugu, I should have been written my mains in that language. Then only I can exercise my right to choose that language. Suppose I have written mains in the Telugu language, Telugu medium. I can opt for Telugu interview or opt for English, no problem. Then there will be an interpreter. Suppose I want to give my interview in Telugu, my mother tongue, in Telugu. So there is an interpreter to translate my Telugu answer for the benefit of